Hello, I'm Adriana, and thanks for joining me for this reading. We're going to first look at the big energy around us, the environmental, collective, universal energy, what's coming at us from the universe. Then we'll look at how it's affecting us on the personal level, kind of where it's affecting us. Okay, so energy coming at us from the universe. Oops, I had a card that wasn't quite right. It was turned upside down. Okay. Clear endeavor. This is an interesting card. So the big picture is that the universe is asking us to be more specific and committed with what it is that we want and what it is that we're trying to create, invite, and allow into our lives. So it's interesting because we're in winter right now, and this is filled with winter scenes. So this is a very timely message for right now. Clear endeavor says to us that for anything to succeed, it's more than just the right timing. It's more than just doing the right things, following the right steps, meeting the right people. All of that comes out of a sense of commitment on every level, mental, emotional, psychically, spiritually being committed, committing with your soul. And I think what gets a lot of us into trouble is that we commit with our mind. We say, oh, this is a good idea. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. But we don't necessarily feel it deep in our core. And that's where we're asked to go, is to go deep to that level of commitment. And if you find yourself committing on one level or another, because it can happen the other way, you can be emotionally committed, but your mind is fighting it. This is a chance to figure out which level, where are you resisting this commitment? And then to work with that resistance until it becomes loosened or it becomes peeled away, and then you're ready to move into this new step. This is really a lovely card. We have the Aurora Borealis. What's the name for that? The Northern Lights. We've also got this snowflake, and she's this is a very wise figure, but there's something kind of elusive about her, mysterious. She doesn't quite come to you. So there's something hidden. There's a hidden resistance, I think, that we're not very conscious of, or we haven't consciously moved out of our energy fields. So let me see how this is affecting us on the personal level. Okay. I'm getting the feeling that I mentioned this being a timely message with the winter, but now I'm getting a feeling that winter is the time when we have to lay the groundwork internally, because spring is when everything wakes up and we start moving and everything happens according to what we have laid in our internal groundwork. So our internal groundwork is going to be attracting a certain course, a certain way that life will unfold for us. And so if we're not tending to that, we don't get the full benefit of when the snow starts to melt, when the water starts to flow, and everything starts to move forward for us. If we're not carved out, if we haven't carved out the right sense of direction, and that we're not aligned with our commitment, it's like we're going to waste that spring energy in a way. So we start the plan now. The spring energy fills in the blanks and actually manifests the plan for us. But let's see where this is hitting us on the personal level. Okay, I'm looking at the middle two. 3 of air and the Knight of water. So it's like both those levels I talked about, emotional and mental, are being affected. 3 of air is really interesting because this is card 39, this one, and it's a 3 in numerology, and then here's our 3 of air. So it's in your thoughts. that it's in the mind, I think, that the biggest betrayal is happening, because the Knight of Water is about feeling, but feeling starts for many of us with thoughts, and thoughts that we haven't done the right thing. I feel like this is the engine. The Three of Air is the engine, so I'm going to focus mostly on that. Three of Air says we're truly not being honest with what our heart really wants, and so we're constantly breaking our own hearts by the choices we make. And this is happening on a lot of levels, but there is, for a lot of us, a willful ignoring of the heart. And this is a long cycle. The Knight of Water also talks about the depth of this type of energy, the depth of this cycle. We are not raised in a culture that encourages us to follow our hearts. It's usually a culture that encourages us to follow our heads, or follow practicality, or follow what other people approve of. But that's not what we're wanting to do right now. When I have to say, over the last 6 months, the Three of Air card has been coming up so much in these readings that I've been doing on YouTube. And it's this theme where we don't even realize how our thoughts are breaking our heart, how our thoughts are taking us down. And when we talk about the Three of Swords in the outside world, it's someone stabbing you in the back. And when you realize that's what's going on, people are stabbing you in the back, it's time to remove yourself from the situation where people are stabbing you in the back, and remove yourself from these people. So in a sense, we're being asked to remove ourselves from thoughts that continue to disappoint and dampen the energy and the vibrancy of our heart. So this can be a lot of things. Thoughts that say, well, that's not good enough, that's not practical enough, or it won't succeed, or I'm not good enough to want that, or maybe my skills aren't good enough, or I'm not enough. But it's also lies that we tell ourselves. The heart can't be trusted. The heart's going to tell me to do something I don't want to do. Let me clarify this another way. What is it that the heart is? What is the head saying about the heart? Okay, we've got death, and we've got the Two of Air. That's interesting. So the head is unwilling to go into the unknown. The head is willing to walk through a door where you don't know what's on the other side of that door, and so the head is trying to keep you safe. So your heart is urging you to go someplace you haven't gone before, or a place that your mind thinks might be dangerous. And so then your mind is putting up all sorts of resistance about going there. And this is really interesting. You see the black and white is echoed so strongly in both cards. We've got a little bit of the brown, but look at, it's like this image here is reflected here. And we're kind of, death is a funny concept, right? Some of us are afraid of physically dying. Some of us are not afraid of physically dying. But on some level, we're afraid of death, which is the new, which is the unknown, a passage into a place that we just don't know what's going to come next. We don't know if we can handle it. We don't know if we're going to like it. We don't know if we're going to be under threat. And that is really the biggest impediment to having that full commitment. Is, are we under threat? Do you feel like committing to what your heart really wants, is that really putting you under threat? And let's think about this for a second, just logically. Your heart wants to survive. That is the function of the heart, right? It beats, it pumps out blood, it gets the blood moving through the veins. we know that when your heart stops, then we stop. When our head stops, you know, if someone cuts off our head, our body actually still goes for a bit. So if what the heart wants is connected to our vitality, if it's connected to the reason we are alive, it's connected to the force that is literally keeping us alive, is it something to be afraid of? If we follow that force that's trying to keep us alive, are we under threat? We're actually under threat if we listen to our mind. That, you know, we get stabbed in the heart, we get our life's vitality drained from us. So if you don't listen to what your heart wants, then you are under threat. If you do listen to what your heart wants, you are not under threat. And that is the biggest message right now, is that we are being asked to listen to our hearts and to make steps, make plans to follow what the heart is telling us to do. All right, I'm going to continue to draw cards and create an extended for you. We're going to look at how to remove this block, how to work with this resistance so that it becomes easy and free-flowing and you can start to follow that heart path. So if you'd like to follow me over there, the link is in the description below. And I will see you soon. If not over there, I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me.